MGStudio presents Hobby Tips. And in this episode, we'll be talking about wet palettes, blending, and shading. Our model for this episode is Stonehaven Miniatures Kitsune Assassin. As you can see, I've painted her up all foxy-like. You may have also noticed I've done quite a bit of blending on this piece. And the secret to good blending and shading is a good wet palette. To make a good wet palette, just take a blister pack from a miniature that has a foam insert. Take out the miniature, put the foam insert back in, and then, as you might suspect, just add water. This, of course, is not the only kind of wet palette. There is the infamous damp paper towel wet palette. I just simply couldn't envision myself making a tutorial about how to dampen a paper towel. It's more of an H2O to brush applicator anyways. Whatever it is, I'm going to show you how to blend and shade with it. When it comes to subtle shading, I like to go with a nice, rich, deep color. So here I'm loading my 5-0 liner with a little bit of water. It's like you're always applying the proper amount of water to the brush when using this kind of applicator. So I guess you can say that my wet palette is basically that sponge applicator combined with my dry palette. It's very easy to gauge just how much water you want to mix with the paint using this kind of applicator. I love this color. It's Reaper's Master Series paint Deep Ocean. And it's beautiful and great for shading. And whenever you mess up, all you have to do is just grab a mostly dry brush and wipe away the mistake. Again, I'm using that wonderful 5-0 liner from my store, BigDwarfGames.com. It's good to keep in mind that this wet paint may look bright, but will actually dry a lot more transparent. This is basically the secret behind all brush blending. It just takes practice gauging how much water to mix with your paint. And that comes with time. And I think this H2O applicator makes it a lot easier. For a long time I swore off water. I only dry brushed. That's how I did it. But if you want that smooth look, you need to distribute the pigment in the paint more thinly. And that means water. Yeah, there's flow improvers and these kinds of things, but water is as cheap as it gets. And lordy, am I cheap. I mean, my dry palette is a piece of cardboard, and my wet palette is a sponge. But can you argue with the results? And I just want to say thank you so much for making it to the end. Every like and subscribe, it truly motivates me. And be sure to stop by my Facebook page and Google Plus page if you want to see more stuff that I paint, like this fella and this guy. Both Stonehaven miniatures from the Elf Kickstarter campaign. Don't hesitate to leave a comment. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Until next time, hone your craft.